listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Your hosts, Nate and John, cover their shared history with the band, discover new music together, and cover the farthest reaches of the Deep Purple family tree and beyond. Here's Nate and John now.
Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 333, Funky Junction. And coming to you from the suburbs of Chicago, well, I'm already celebrating Oktoberfest. I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John Semper Fi Matola.
Have you joined the Marines?
No, but I got these, for some reason I got this in the mail.
Is it a bumper sticker?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but I also, not only a bumper sticker for the Marines, but also these neat little address labels. See, it says
Ooh.
John Matola on them, but I have my, the few, the proud, the Marines, Semper Fi, United States Marine Corps. I don't know why. I've never even been interested in the military. Like, the biggest fight I ever got in was like a war of words. So it's like,
Did several of them.
yeah, several
campaigns have been waged.
Generously low estimation of the amount of times I've
Was
been.
your dad in the Marines or the Army?
No, the Air Force.
Air Force. Okay, I was wrong on both counts.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming that sometimes I'll receive stuff like this because we have the same name. But yeah, it seemed pretty random. But I always keep the little address labels that they give because the name and address are correct and it's free. So
when I was in high school,
yeah.
I took the ASVAB test, and which is for non-Americans or whatever. It's like I don't know, a test to see how good you are for the military. I don't know. But the recruiter called me. I was like, hey, what's going on? You want to he's like really smarmy guy, just like, hey, you want to join the military? Yeah. And I was like, nah, no thanks. And then I hung up the phone and then it rang again. And he was like, hey, can I talk to my girlfriend's name at the time? And she lived with me in high school. Because our family had moved out of state. So senior year, she lived with me.
Yeah.
Well, with my family. And then, so he's like, hey, so-and-so there. And I was like, yeah, let me, he's like, hey, is this Nate? Yeah. He's like, whoa, what are you two shacking up? He's just kind of a bonehead guy,
I just think that the fact that I'm just picturing you in high school, the image of you in high school getting a recruiting call. You're like,
yeah, it's a good thing we didn't do video calls back then. You take one look at me and be like, yeah, this guy's a lost cause.
Never mind. Click.
Yeah, never mind. I think it's very unlikely that you're going to join.
He's just like the least likely person. You wouldn't even. You're even least likely to fight people than I am.
Yeah, physically anyway.
Yeah,
I've been involved in a few wars of words.
But I don't know. Even back then, I feel like you were very at least with me, you were just kind of, you pushed back a little bit, but after a while, I think with me, you were just like, it's just pointless. just let him ramble on.
This guy. Well, folks, I'm here to remind you that the Deep Purple Podcast is 100% listener supported and ad-free. No ads on our show. Do we have ads before the show? No. Do we have them after the show? No. Do we have them in the middle of the show? No. What we do have is a bunch of wonderful patrons that help support the show and keep the lights on, as it were. Although you might notice by me, there's not a heck of a lot of lights on because I'm still demoing the basement all day today. But yeah, you can support our show a number of ways. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, buy some merch at our Etsy store, become a patron on Patreon or PayPal. You can also support us on Ko-fi, Cash App, and Super Thanks on YouTube. As a patron, you get access to our patrons-only Discord, our rating spreadsheets, invites for our live stream episodes, links to submissions for all the album rankings episodes, and access for our Too Hot for YouTube band episodes. Podcasts gone wild. Sometimes John takes his top off and they ban us on YouTube. We have to put it on our Patreon.
You have to put it on OnlyFans.
I always thought about that, doing like an OnlyFans. It was because I think like the whole way it started was like it wasn't necessarily, I don't know for facts, but I don't know that it was designed specifically for what it's used for now, which is mostly just porn. I think it was, but it quickly became just that, or mostly that. So I thought it'd be fun to just be like, we could have an OnlyFans, and then like once a month, like we could talk to our fans. Hey, what's up, guys?
Well, yeah.
Or I'll show you my foot.
Well, I think that, and I'm not certain either, but I believe that the idea of that is similar to what Patreon is you pay extra for exclusive content to a creator, but that quickly became sexual if it wasn't.
Right, which is funny because Patreon isn't at all. I mean, maybe they are in some way that I don't know about, but like it seems like a lot of people use Patreon that are creators, but for different things. But
I've never heard of it.
It was just like right off the bat, it was just like barn.
Well, because I don't know, like Patreon sounds respectable. OnlyFans does not, and maybe it's just maybe if you posted like a picture of me like this, like
I mean, you could do a picture of you like that, where if like you pay a certain amount, like different pieces of clothing disappear, like that. Like wasn't it like they're like a pen or something, or a glass? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like a pen, and if you tipped it upside down, like the girl's clothes would like come off.
Yeah. I remember. Oh man, I can't even like those things were cliche even when we were kids. But I remember actually seeing one, and it was like the little clicker pen. You went, and then like the clothes went.
Yeah. It was like a dress, but then it would disappear and it would reveal like a bra and panties only or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or sometimes
they sell it at like Spencer Gifts.
Yeah, that might have been it. Because it was just like, oh, I heard about these, and you're like, and you're like, her clothes are coming off.
Some of it, she still has her underwear. So anyway, folks, we're not here to talk about novelty pens. We're here to talk about Deep Purple. Well, sort of. But before we do that, we want to thank our first level of patrons. And of course, that is our executive level patrons coming to us at the executive level tier, at the in memoriam tier, the wonderful late Gerald, Jerry, Kelly, and family. At the $25 Uncommon Man tier, we have Ovis Nakfi and Purple Maniac. At the 20 is Plenty tier, we have Alan. At the 10-pound Good Doctor tier, we have Dr. Mike Catan. At the Turn It Up to $11 tier, Clay Wambacher, Frank Thielgard Mortensen, Mickelstein, Will Porter, PhDPP, and Michael, don't call him Bagford. At the $10 Someone Came tier, Ryan F. M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, Better Call Saul Evans. And Peter from Illinois. And at the Deep Thoughts by John Matola tier, we have Fielding Fowler.
And now, Deep Thoughts by John Matola.
No, it's all fucked up. I don't see any numbers. I just see pound div/0 exclamation point.
Thank you so much. My random pull worked. So it's now randomly pulling from the Deep Thoughts selection that are
awesome.
Carefully curated by Mark Roback. Then,
awesome.
Of course, we have the Deep Purple Podcast Hall of Fame, starting with our very first Hall of Famer.
Rich, Yangui, Shaylor. Who the hell is that?
Jörg Planer and Norman Weichelbaum, thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right, our next ratings show is coming up. It is for, we haven't aired it yet, the Who Do We Think We Are, but we're taking submissions for Burn already as you hear this. So if you're a patron, go on Patreon and rank the songs on Burn. That's going to be a really fun one, tough one.
Yes. Yes,
All
the
right,
good
John.
ones are always tough. Yeah.
Funky Junction. We almost did an episode about this like 5 years ago.
Yeah, right. I was struggling to remember. I probably should have gone back to listen, but I know that we talked about it, but couldn't remember to what degree.
So we don't really have any history with this beyond just kind of the show and the Deep Purple universe. But this band was put together for the express purposes of recording one single album, this album that you're hearing today. The man behind the idea was a German businessman named Leo Muller. His name was actually an alias used by Dave Miller, who was a record producer who ran a number of budget music companies, and he was actually American, posing as a German businessman. Very odd. His budget label was called Stereo Gold Award. And he also did an album called Tribute to Jimi Hendrix by the Purple Fox. So he'd put these albums together that were like tribute albums about specific bands just to kind of capitalize on whatever was popular at the time. So Muller gets in touch with Thin Lizzy and says, hey, I want to do this album. You guys are going to be perfect for it. They did not want to do it at all. But they also were starving musicians and hadn't really made it big yet, so they needed some money.
They needed the money.
Phil Lynott decided he wasn't going to be able to sing like Gillan, so he decided to only play bass and do backing vocals. And as a result, they hired this singer named Benny White from the Dublin-based group Elmer Fudd.
That's so good.
So that band was known for doing Deep Purple covers at their shows. It's funny that they didn't just go with that band. Brian Downey actually called Benny White an Ian Gillan clone. So Thin Lizzy had no keyboard player, so the Elmer Fudd keyboardist, Dave Mojo Lennox, jumped in to fill the keyboard part of it. They were each paid £60 a day to travel into Delane Lee's studio in London to record the album. I don't know how many days it took. Probably not a lot. Brian Downey recalls that the rehearsals for the recording took about 2 or 3 hours before the full day recording session.
That's crazy.
So Thin Lizzy were paid on top of their already daily payments £1,000 for the recording, but their names were not included on the album. So here we have Eric Bell on guitar, Phil Lynott on bass, Brian Downey on drums, Benny White on vocals, and Dave Lennox on keyboards. Once again, from the band Elmer Fudd. So that's a great.
And yeah, I was like, did I hear that right?
Yeah, and it's like part of me was like, well, was Elmer Fudd a thing? No, Elmer Fudd's been around probably since like the 30s or 40s, right? Like,
so
it's not like it was like a common thing that was also used for this, but
no, but he's like,
I'm hunting funky jams.
I'm recording Deep Purple songs. Speed King.
Are we gonna hear that one? I guess we'll see.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the background on the album. I'm gonna pull up the album cover for you. This is the album cover, which has got some stuff behind it. But John, what do you think of Funky Junction plays a tribute to Deep Purple?
Well, right off the bat, it reminds me of Trapeze, You Are the Music, We're Just the Band. The kind of band's view of the audience. But
you see the band from behind. Yep.
Yeah. But it's it's pretty cool. I mean, it looks like if you're just see this Funky Junction play a tribute to Deep Purple, definitely looks like a stock tribute, like we threw it together 70s album cover. But cool nonetheless. Nothing really too special about it. I mean, obviously the purple border is pretty obvious.
Yes.
But from what I understand, that's not even the band that recorded it, right?
Correct. So this was actually a photograph, but funny because the band here has a Deep Purple connection, which is this is the band Hard Stuff, which had Johnny Gustafson in it, which was a 3-piece band. Yeah, so we're seeing that band, even though because this band never performed live, they just got together for this one recording.
Right. So what did they just decide? Hey, we're just going to get a stock picture of a band and slap it on an album.
Apparently, it's the only thing I can think of.
And I mean, you wouldn't even know what band it is because I
Right,
mean, I
you
think
can't
they did
see
a smart,
anybody.
yeah, they did a smart thing by having a picture from them all from behind and the hair is covering their face and it's kind of blurred, so you don't really see anything. So it could be anybody.
Yep, totally. It looks like a pretty rocking show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it looks like a club show.
pretty decent crowd there.
Everybody looks like they're behaving. They're all lined up.
Yeah, right. The back of the album has just a smaller picture of the album cover on a yellow background. It says Funky Junction are an exciting new group that has the pulse of today. In this tribute to Deep Purple, they play many of Purple's hits. UK and worldwide audiences are acclaiming them for their great group they are. I don't know if they're talking about Deep Purple or this group, but it's funny because it's like they're announcing them as some sort of band.
For the 3 hours that they existed,
exciting
they have been so influential.
That, like, is not going to ever do anything again other than become Thin Lizzy and huge in their own right. And then it says that the track listing below, which a keen observer will note that half of these songs are not Deep Purple names that we're familiar with. So they didn't have enough songs. So the Leo Muller guy wrote some songs for them to mix in with. So he says they play many, what does it say? Worldwide audiences, they play many of Purple's hits. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Deep Purple songs on a 9-song album. So more than half are Deep Purple songs. The others are original compositions. So right off the bat, there's a great article on Highway Star about this album, about a guy just saying how much he hates this album. And then he got in touch with Benny White, who seemed like a really nice guy, and they talked after he wrote this and has a follow-up. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes, but it's really interesting. And then it says Funky Junction, the sound of today.
So silly. What it makes me think of really quickly is the whole mixing of those songs and then writing their original songs. I know it was different, but when the Ozzy tribute album with Jimmy Barnes.
Yes. Yep.
It kind of reminds me of that because you had these well-known songs mixed in with originals that is anybody really going to care about them? Right. I mean, I'm sure that these were more hastily put together, but
yes, quite a bit.
But it kind of reminds me of that. And the other thing is the whole project, like when you were kind of talking about it, kind of gave me like a bit of made me think of horror movies, like the horror studios, like back in the like 50s, 60s, 70s, especially like the British ones, like Hammer Studios or Amicus Productions or AIP in the US. There were all these budget film studios that kind of did their take on the monster movies and like sometimes did original type stuff, but it was all low budget and derivative. But the difference is a lot of that stuff became like really like classic or a cult classic. But this kind of reminds me of the music version of how horror movies kind of were like right before this time, or maybe even like coinciding with it. which is kind of interesting because I feel like there were a lot of records that did that, like, oh, the hits of today, and then they just throw some dudes in there to record it. We've talked about it before. A lot of people did that with the Beatles, where they had like these logos, right, and pictures of guys that like they tried to make them look like the Beatles, so people would buy the albums because they thought it was the Beatles.
The unkeen observer would just snatch it right up.
Yeah, it's like, oh boy, and
there was so much garbage pumped. I mean, that's just I don't know. I guess that's capitalism, right? Just like if there's any avenue to try to make a buck off of any of this, people are going to jump in and just be like, oh, we can do that too. Other people are making money. We want to make money off of this. So they'd sell stuff that was either low quality or outright misleading to try to make a buck. And, hey, it's a free economy to do whatever you want, I guess. And I guess you have very little to worry about because you're not like, it's not like you're damaging your own brand. It's just like, well, this is a one-off. We're going to screw a bunch of people into buying it, and then we're going to move on to the next scam. And they'll never know it was the same people. There's so many crummy compilations. They had remember that Freedom Rock compilation? Freedom Rock, man. We'll turn it up, man.
Well, that was the 800 number. The compilations you would call and buy them from no, it was like a little bit before the made for TV things, but they were the ads where you were ordering through the 800 number or something like that. So people just put together these shitty compilations and
allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
Yeah, and then you get them, and I mean, I think I bought one of them once, and before Spotify and all that, just getting a compilation of songs when there was really no other way to hear them. It's not like they sounded bad or they recorded by other people. It was just they took other people's work and slapped like some cover on it, and they're just like, yeah, pay like $15 for the compact disc or whatever. And but I mean, this is interesting though because it's kind of the cross pollination, the history of Thin Lizzy does Deep Purple,
right? And I think, and part of me is like, man, it would be so awesome to just hear Phil sing the songs on his own interpretation of them. But yeah, I think if this wasn't Thin Lizzy, it would still be interesting, but not quite as interesting. Just knowing that this is a very young Thin Lizzy who got roped into doing this and smartly did not put their names on it because, they only had a few hours to rehearse. They probably are like, listen, pay us our money, but we don't want to be credited because this is not our best work.
I think that's cool though. It's because it's one of those things like when you hear that a famous actor had a cameo or role in something on TV or a movie like way sooner and they weren't credited or they were under a different name or something. It's just kind of a little glimpse into their not so much even their early work, just kind of like seeing them as while they were still struggling. So
yeah, it's like recently they did on the Golden Girls podcast that episode of the Golden Girls where George Clooney is just in an episode. Yeah. And I remember seeing that as a kid and you don't think anything of it, but now it's so distracting. You're like, doesn't everybody realize that's George Clooney? Why is nobody saying anything? He's just in this it's just so strange to see someone of that magnitude.
Yeah, because back then he wasn't George Clooney. Back then he wasn't George Clooney.
Exactly. Not yet.
But yeah, no, I think it's but yeah, it is really, I think it's unique and interesting, regardless of what the finished product sounds like. That this is, you don't see a lot of stuff like that, like this, it's kind of a cool crossover type of thing.
Yep. It was released in Germany as The Rock Machine Plays the Best of Deep Purple. And it had this weird silver lion on it for some reason. And it's like,
looks like a door knocker.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
You just like, walk up and be like
6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They only list 7 of the songs on the cover here, but even those 9 songs on it, there's the the label, and then this is a image of Elmer Fudd with Phil Lynott, and it's been colorized, and you can see this on the Highway Star, which is where I took this from. So yeah, it's got a few of the guys from Elmer Fudd here, and it's all labeled at the bottom. I think they said it was like done by one of the guy's brothers or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did this one too, especially for you, Gladys Knight and the Pips, with guests Funky Junction. So this was another one where they put some Funky Junction. I don't think Thin Lizzy was involved with this one at all. I think this was just like another thing that they did. And then I found this photo, which I am pretty sure is doctored, although it looks kind of real. And it is a photo of a recent-ish photo of Ian Pace and Roger Glover going through a Creative Records, and Ian Pace is holding up the Funky Junction record and pointing at it, and they're both kind of chuckling.
I don't know. I would bet that that's real.
It could be. I don't know, but I haven't found any confirmation that it is. There's also in the crate visible is the Pace Ashton Lord record. So yeah, it's just kind of a odd and funny picture that I found that I have no idea what the story behind it is. And I'll put that one in the show notes. That's the back of the CD. And that's Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, we know what Elmer Fudd looks like.
The actual Elmer Fudd. So, we ready to get into these tracks here?
Yeah, let's see what it's about.
All right. Before we do that, we're going to thank our next level of patrons as, of course, our core level. At the $6.99, the nice price tier, we have Spike the Rock Cat's Ghost and Sugar Tea. At the episode $6.66 tier, we have Steve Coldwell.
Steve.
Arthur Smith.
Getting support from the patron Arthur Smith.
Anton Glaving.
Pain in the glaving.
And Charles Meadows. At the $6.65 almost evil tier, we have Kenny Wymore and Richie Sucksmith. At the 70 Norwegian kroner tier, we have Kai Runa, yes, I'm Norwegian, Olsen. At the $5.99, the nice price tier, Robert Smith and Adrian Hernandez. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Nights tier, we have DJ Newt Morton Johansson. Oops.
Oh, Nate.
This is why we can't pre-record these. At the €5.50 tier, we have Merlin Rota. At the £4 tier, we have Duncan Leask. What would be appropriate here from Lucy?
I'm alone here with empty nest, eagles, and snow.
At the $5 money lender tier, John Convery, German Heindel, Jesper Alman, Alexei the Perfect Stranger Slepikoff, Kev Roberts, Scott Zern, Cynthia Doobie, Raf Calf.
Do you guys ever have sex?
Coyote Bongwater. John Maselli.
Hey, there's singing going on here about America. Oh, Purple Mountain Majesties.
Sarah Sanders.
No, Kelly Clarkson!
Jelly Bean, Evan Robeson, Purple Swede.
Hookah, shaka, hookah, hookah. Sweet. Sweet.
And Ralphie Lee. Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcasts. Realized we didn't do our mailbag today.
Yeah,
actually, your mailbag.
I do.
Oh, well, you know what? This is. There's no precedent for this, but we're gonna do a pre-album postcards from the edge of Connecticut. Who should go first?
I'll go first because it's because I just will. So yeah, luckily I got to I don't check my mailbox every day, but luckily I did. I'm not sure when this arrived, but I got this. There's like no return address. There was no note in it. I got these made in Japan socks.
Excellent.
Was that from you, Nate?
It was. I also got
okay.
some Made in Japan socks. I was hoping we would get them for the Made in Japan episode and we could wear them because it might enhance the listening experience.
Well,
but
all right.
Yeah, so it came out like 2 days after we actually recorded the episode.
I figured that they were from you because if it were for like Pete or somebody else, there would, be a note in it and possibly like, a map of North Dakota or something.
A street map of North Dakota from the 70s.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I got. Mystery solved, I guess.
I got two other. This says Crane's Chicago on it. Chicago business, the Crane family brand. But the postmark from it is a little suspicious. So, for all I know, it's junk mail. But I think there might be a patron-related thing behind this. So let's see what it is. Okay. It's a folded up magazine article with a Post-it. So I was correct. It says, Nate, congratulations. Great to have seen you last Sunday, Pete. Congratulations. I don't know what the congratulations are for, but...
No, jeez. Well, now you got to share.
This is... Oh, shit. Ripping it. It's very precarious here. So it's a... It says, like, the Chicago Leadership Circle, and it shows all these people. And then one of them is... me. Taped it over. It says Nathan Beaudry, host of the popular yet dopey named Deep Purple podcast. So I'm one of the Chicago business leaders.
You're obviously cut and pasted in there. Very nice.
Everyone else is like CEOs and
very nice.
And then one more. This one is a it says package from the edge of the Penicky Hills. And this one is from Mr. Oops. This one is from Mr. Jeff Bryce. He always sends me lots of cool rarities.
Just realize that between the cool collectibles you have and the one-of-a-kind things, the artwork, and some of the dopey stuff like this, you are really leaving your kids behind a very odd legacy.
An odd mess to have to deal with.
Of shit to go through. Well, you imagine them going through this shit someday, and I mean, it'll probably be like 100 times as much as it is today. It'd be like pictures of you, like just pasted onto things, road maps, pens from banks that don't exist anymore. Like,
yeah, this is gonna be. This says, "Hi Nate, here's some goodies." Jeff Bryce. Okay, nice. So this is. Oh, he sent me an updated. It's funny because he emailed me that he sent this right after we did the Rare Live Tracks episode. An updated, burned copy of Deep Purple at the Cumberland County Civic Center, Portland, Maine, 1987, with their only live performance ever of Mad Dog. And then also put Nick Mason's Fictitious Sports. Just 2 good albums dubbed for my LP. I don't think it came out on CD. Weird, fun. You can tell Roger was not involved. And then, Frank Zappa live at the Pauley Pavilion. Wow, nice. And he always writes out the track list all nice.
Nice.
What a guy. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, there's more. Oh my God, there's a huge stack of CDs. Wings live in Newcastle, 1973. George Harrison, Center Coliseum, Seattle, Washington, 1974. Wow. Thank you, Jeff. I'll put that in my box of treats here. Much appreciated. Well, as a Chicago business leader, I say we get into the album. The first track up is called Fireball.
All right.
bad.
Yeah. Singer is kind of capturing a little bit of that Gillan grit.
Phil's bass sounds really good.
Yeah, pretty energetic cover. I mean, obviously sounds like a little thinly recorded, but what do you expect?
Yeah, the production's not great, but the performance sounds pretty good, especially for only having a couple hours to rehearse.
I feel like Phil could have sang this.
I think it would have been really interesting.
Couldn't get up to Gillan's level
that's
right
tough.
there.
So we're gonna have to see if we can get our hands on some Elmer Fudd, see what they were all about.
This is surprisingly good. I mean, I would rather listen to the actual Fireball, but you know.
Right.
It's very cool. Very well done. Boy, I think I spoke too soon.
I mean, that's a pretty good job of emulating that beginning of that solo with no information about how the original was done. It's a little church organ-y sounding for me.
Yeah.
I think the singer's really good.
Yeah, me too.
Ah, they even brought in like the tambourine and everything. I mean, pretty good attention to detail of trying to mimic it.
Oh yeah. No, wait, are we rating these?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Pull up the spreadsheet. I think we should rank them.
All right. Well, I wasn't sure. Sometimes with these we don't, you know, but
All right, Fireball. John, what do you rank the opening track of the Funky Junction album?
you know what? I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oh my goodness.
Because I thought it was pretty good. I was thinking, like, while we were listening to it, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 until it got to that bass part, and I'm like, oh man, it wasn't even that he didn't mimic Roger. It was just bad. It just sounded like he fucked up, and they were like, one take, that's it, which is probably all they had. And then yeah, the keyboard part was just that whole section going into the solo was probably the weakest part of the song because it just sounded trash. I mean, it was just not good. I mean, if anything, it just highlights how difficult it is to emulate some things that the musicians in Deep Purple did. It seems deceptively easy.
Yes. I will give it a 3. I think for what it is, they did a heck of a job, but if they had some time to maybe work on that bass solo a little bit, or I should say, and work on the tone on the organ, because the organ player is pretty good, and they did some really good job of mimicking that opening sound effect and really going for. I think it would have been cool if they tried to do it a little bit in their own style, but the thing is, they didn't really have a style because they weren't.
Right.
You know, they were Thin Lizzy, but also with some new guys, and you're just kind of cramming a bunch of people together for a few hours. They haven't had a time to develop their own style or their own playing not techniques, but playing together and the chemistry and everything. So yeah, that would be my rating. Okay. Now the originals on this are another story. Let's hear. The first one is called Dan. And this is a take on the Irish traditional Danny Boy, which makes sense given the musicians.
Ah, okay.
This, so far, makes me ask the question, did he even know this was being recorded? You know, he's just screwing around in the studio and like, oh, there's one of our songs.
He probably didn't.
We're about halfway through the song. So I'm guessing there's not going to be any other instrumentation. I did listen to this years ago, but I haven't listened to it in a long time. It's like Hendrix playing the national anthem, kind of.
Yeah.
The look on your face is great. All right. Dan.
Dan. It's odd.
I gotta say, a song called Dan does not sound very promising.
No. 2.
All right.
I mean, it was just noodling around in the studio.
Yep.
Yeah, what else is there to say?
Yeah. Well, I have to say is a 1.5.
Ooh, man, I'm being more generous today than you are.
You are. Yeah, it's like I think if you had taken half of that and put it as like a weird little interlude intro into a proper song, maybe, but to call this a song is like, ugh. I mean, it's, again, I think this is a song that they could have recorded without Eric Bell being aware he was even being recorded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not like the playing's bad or anything, but it just seems like, he's just kind of screwing around on the guitar, doing some cool stuff, getting some cool feedback, doing some little speed picking here and there, which is cool. But yeah, the term song is used very loosely to define this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a track.
It's a track. But the next track, we're back to Deep Purple. I think we're alternating, well, except for, I guess we're not really. It's just kind of random. The next one is called A Black Night. This part sounds good, but the beginning sounded really weak. Like, it didn't have any power behind it. And again, it's production. I think the playing's good. Vocals sound totally different here.
Yeah. Was it a different vocalist?
No, not that I'm aware of.
No. See, the drummer is pretty faithful to what Pacey does on these tracks.
Yeah,
I mean, as
totally.
much as he can be.
I mean, you're talking about some really good musicians here.
Not bad. Solo section was pretty good. Little stronger than the other solo section in the first Purple song.
Yes. So they're branching out a little bit more with the solos on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, fade out there.
Quick fade.
Very quick fade. Yeah, it was just a little over 3 minutes long. All right. Black Knight, John. What do you think? What have you done?
I don't know.
You added a call. I'll delete it.
Can you reverse that?
No, it didn't work. What happened?
What did I do?
Oops. Oh, shoot. I think wait 1 second.
Oh, I reversed it.
You did? I think I might have deleted one of the songs accidentally. We're truly fumbling right now with the spreadsheet, folks.
Um
All right.
All right. Well, I'm back. I'll give it a 3. So conversely, I thought that the verses were weak, but the solo section was a little stronger.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I like how he kind of I mean, what Richie was doing in the original wasn't too far off from kind of a bluesy type of solo, so he just kind of ran with it in the same kind of probably scale chord pattern. And
All right.
it was pretty good.
I'll give it a 3 as well. I don't. It's the singer was really good. I felt like on Fireball, but not as good on this one.
Yeah, a little weaker sounding.
Yes. Okay, next track up is called Palamatoon. It's original.
Oh, really? I thought it was a Deep Purple deep cut. So deep we'd never heard of it.
All right, so the guitar player got his own little thing. I wonder if this is the synth player's turn. It's kind of silly sounding, but in kind of a cool way.
Well, I've heard John Lord use these kind of effects.
I'd say overall it's a very annoying synth sound.
Well, yeah, I mean, his obviously
for more
sounded
than
better.
yeah,
but
for more than like a few seconds. Thank God you get a little break from that. that noise.
You're right. It just sounds goofy.
The kind of feeling of it makes me think of like almost like a Fat Albert kind of thing, you know? But
Yeah.
not as good. The Fat Albert music was awesome. It sounds like they're playing in different keys.
Yeah, I'm starting to get like what was going on here was they didn't really write any new songs. They were just goofing around in the studio, and they're just like, let's slap some titles on this shit so we can fill out the album.
Again, this sounds like just like, oh guys, we're gonna be putting in some new tape and stuff, so you guys just hang tight for a few minutes. And they just started screwing around, you know. I've been in the studio enough to have been involved in weird jams like this where you're just like, everyone's screwing around, like, okay guys, we're ready to roll, we got the tape all loaded, okay, cool. But to call this a composition is like, I don't know about that. I will say one thing, these songs on this album are pretty short.
Good.
It's like a relief when that synth stops, but it sounds like the guitar is playing in a different key. Like he's adjacent to the song.
Who knows? Maybe he was.
Like he's like soloing in C and they're in G, so it's like, well, there's a lot of similar notes, but it's not resolving the way it should. Another fade out where it's going wee-oh, wee-oh, wee-oh. Oh my goodness. Palamatoon, John.
Ugh. Like one.
One.
I mean, the other thing I gave like what, a 2. I mean, at least that was like a kind of a what do you call it, a standard that he was soloing.
Sort of, although
like
you could have put a gun to my head, and if I hadn't read that, I'd have no idea what they were going.
Well, that's the only reason that I knew that too, and it was sort of this one was just friggin' goofy. I didn't like it.
I'll give it a 2. There was something kind of like boom, 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 like it had that kind of bebopping sort of beat. Like I said, it reminded me of like a, Fat Albert. Ba-boom, ba-boom. It just had a kind of like a fun bebopping little beat. But yeah, overall, it was kind of a lot of out of key soloing on the guitar, and then just the most annoying synth. You know me, I love synths, but that was had this like really like aggressive timbre to the sound of it. It just wasn't pleasing to listen to in any way.
I mean, that sounds like part is like some of a synth patch that like Lord used during like the solo for Burn.
Yeah,
but he used it for some of it. It wasn't like the featured sound in the whole damn song.
Right. Yeah. Like you could use that. A, you could probably record it better, and B, you could use it in a way where it wasn't. A little of that goes a long way.
Yeah, sparingly. Yeah.
So I got to thinking, what the heck is a palamatoon? So I Googled it. Literally nothing other than references to this song came up. So it's a made up word. But I found this website. I don't know when this website's from, but in the website, he kind of does like, he'll put a track up for the day and just write a little blurb about it. So this website's called mushrumps.com. And this was one of the songs, oddly. And the only thing he said about it is, What is a palamatoon? I have no idea, but it seems to be the sound of young Thin Lizzy dicking about on synths while in the midst of making a cack-handed Deep Purple knockoff LP for the Woolworths crowd. Yes, it's that good.
Woolworths.
I just thought that was pretty funny. Dicking around on synths. I mean, that's pretty much sums it up.
Yep.
But yeah, that wraps up side 1 of this album.
Ooh.
Bringing us to side 2 and a track called Strange Kind of Woman.
History.
He sounds better on this one.
Yeah, they didn't do too bad on the opening. Like the guitar and drums coming in together like that is not easy.
To me, this sounds like what if Rod Evans tried to sing Strange Kind of Woman. You know, it sounds like he's a little bit in his upper register. It almost sounds like he's mumbling because he either doesn't have the confidence that he's got the right words. She's just like,
yeah.
Now, I know Phil botched the solo on Fireball, but I don't see what they were saying about his bass playing not being that on when they talk about like the babyface stuff, because he sounds pretty solid on this. And this is young Phil. But you also just have this image in your head of Thin Lizzy not wanting to even be there. you know, basically just like, well, we do need to eat though.
Guitar solo not bad.
No, it's fine. I'm sure it was a one take situation. Nah, came in, botched that a little bit. We'll fix it in post. We won't actually.
No, we won't.
Post. We're just gonna leave it. Time is money, folks. We can't do a second take.
It's a good mimicking of Richie right there.
Yeah, we're talking about a great guitar player in his own right. Yeah, I think they kind of faded it out at the. Oh, let's
like we give like a little compliment there, and then all of a sudden it just proves us wrong, like in the next bar.
Okay, Strange Kind of Woman. John, what do you think?
I'll give it a 2.5.
All right.
Overall, I thought the vocals and the music were pretty weak. And the guitar solos were pretty on though. So that saved it a little bit for me. But and the intro wasn't bad either, because that when the guitar and the drums kind of come in at the same time and they kind of mimic each other. I mean, that's something special. That's something you don't usually hear. I mean, they didn't do it great, but I mean, at least they didn't like fuck it up, horribly. And I mean, I know that we're judging this based on no production, probably one take, only a few hours rehearsal. So what do you want? But I mean, this was also put out into the stratosphere, so it's to be judged.
Yeah. I'll give it a 2.5 as well. Yeah, it wasn't as strong as some of the other stuff, but I have to kind of yeah, I just have to kind of feel like I've got to give it some credit based on the situation that was involved. And you're talking about some world-class performers on this song, but you're only as good as your situation allows you to be, and they were put in kind of a crummy situation, and probably would not be thrilled to know that 50 plus years later, people like us are going to be sitting here going, "Wow, they messed up a note," and they're like, "Oh God, we just needed some money, man. We needed to eat."
Well, I mean, yeah, I get that.
It's
So
not
I mean,
like
I'm not
playing a bad gig and it just kind of disappears into the ether. This is like on record and it exists forever.
not saying like, oh, Phil Lynott sucked. I mean, it's just
No, far
like,
from it.
no, I'm just saying this particular situation was not great.
No.
It didn't sound great or translate great, but I mean, nothing really. They started off strong with Fireball, with the exception of those couple of pieces in there. So I'm kind of surprised that at least with the vocals didn't remain that strong, because I thought that they were surprisingly good.
Yeah. Well, maybe that just particular song was in his range or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, luckily these guys would go on to do so much great music that this is just a footnote. It would be a shame if this was just like the only thing that was around.
Yeah, like
okay.
Jerusalem.
Yes. Next song up is a track called Hush. Sounded like it was going to be a rap.
The fuck?
I know that's a weird thing that John does, but this doesn't sound right.
No.
That part sounds really good.
Very overdriven. The bass is very in your face in this song.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like the vocals are probably more in his wheelhouse in this song because they sound really good.
Yeah, which is funny because I was saying he sounded like Rod Evans doing Mark II, and this one sounds like it's right up his alley. So that must be Phil in the background.
I heard her calling my name. I thought I heard her calling my name.
Yeah, I think Phil's having a little trouble with the simper bounciness of this. It's a little too straightforward the way he's playing it, but it's like minor quibble. Again, they had 3 hours to rehearse. And for all we know, they probably knew this song, but the other songs, maybe they'd only heard them once before, never before. So this is longer than some of the other songs on this album. A little over 4 minutes. Seems like most of the songs have been ending a little early. Or maybe not early enough, depending on your point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be as sound as powerful as John Lord.
Well, John Lord was really pioneering a lot of that stuff. You know, there were other great contemporaries to him, but that were kind of doing their own sounds and their own things with synths. But as far as the organ goes, I mean, he was pretty original in the way that he was making it sound, and they might not have had the know-how or the equipment even to just make it sound that way. I mean, this organist, for all intents and purposes, is pretty damn good.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Just like, you know, you take a Hammond organ and you don't do anything to it, it sounds like a church organ, because it is. Right. Run it through a Marshall and put some overdrive on it and put a Leslie speaker, and now you're starting to sound a little like John Lord, if you've got the chops, which few do. All right, John, Hush. Are you going to rank this one?
I'll give it a 3. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was better than some of the other ones, but like I thought the vocals were really good. This was definitely more in, you know, his range, his wheelhouse. The guitar too, like you know, very I think it picked up a lot of slack for the keyboard. With the percussiveness and everything. But yeah, I guess you're right. You know, I mean, it's difficult to do this stuff and sound like Lord when you don't have the equipment, you know, the chops, or maybe you do have the chops but you don't have the equipment. And I mean, they probably didn't, you know, because they were just trying to get paid, right? So it's not like, all right, this is gonna be big, baby. So
we're a brand new band.
But unfortunately, the end product just, you know, it just doesn't sound as good as a result. So suffered a little bit.
I'll give it a 3 as well for being a pretty decent cover. You know, for 50 plus years ago, did a pretty good job. Yeah, pretty much all the same stuff that you said, just about the sound of everything and the production. You know, for what it is, for being recorded in essentially one day, perhaps the production's not bad considering that, but it's also just not great. There's a few areas where it could be better, but again, they're not looking to spend a ton of money. They're looking to slap the words Deep Purple on here and try to cash in while the band is still hot. So I think this came out in like 73. Okay, so that takes us to the next track, which is supposedly written by Leo Muller once again. It's called Rising Sun. But I think it's a bold move to say you wrote this when it's clearly House of the Rising Sun that it's based on. I don't think you get to say you wrote it if you do a
take.
Yeah, a take. It's
on a song.
I mean, it's not like Palamatoon.
Thank goodness. So what do they just like take other songs and just shorten the name of it, like Dan, Rising Sun, and just say, yeah, we wrote this?
What was Palabatoon or Palabatunicious?
No, that was just a mess.
Young Thin Lizzy dicking around on synths. Ooh, it's got a really nice sound on the organ on this one.
Yeah.
But I feel like this song is like something like Little Wing, where it's like you just get a band together and start jamming on that, and it's just freaking awesome no matter what. Like, this is a great, it's familiar, people know it. Sounds great, it's a great chord progression. It conjures up the original. Yeah, so far I'd say this is probably the organ player's best work on this song.
Yeah.
And best sound.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you think of this original composition by Leo Muller called "Rising Sun" that he wrote?
I think he's full of horse shit. If he thinks that that's
it's a bold freaking move, by the way. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna do an album, and I'm gonna do like what I said about Little Wing. I'm just doing an instrumental version of Little Wing, and just be like, this is composed by Nathan Beaudry. Not even like arranged by, which would even be a stretch. Oh, I wrote this. This is mine.
Yeah, 2.5 because of the friggin' plagiarism.
You taking points off her?
No, I mean it was fine. I mean, I the House of the Rising Sun, is it's pretty played out. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's not
1973, maybe not so much, but
yeah, but I'm listening to it now.
That is true. But they didn't know you would be.
All right, but anyways, it's not a bad song. It's just kind of like there was I always thought it's not a bad song. Like when it comes on, it's like you go, okay, yeah, this is a pretty good song. It stands out because it's kind of got that, especially with the vocal, when it's got a vocal in it, it's got that kind of really powerful build up. So I mean, objectively not a bad song. And in this case, I think you were right. It's probably the keyboardist's finest hour. So it sounds like an average instrumental cover.
I'm wondering why they didn't have Benny White sing on this one.
Maybe I'm starting to get the theme of all their quote unquote originals are just instrumentals.
Yeah, but I just don't know why there was a house in New Orleans. He couldn't have just done that.
I don't know. I mean, why didn't
know the song?
I mean, why didn't Ronnie sing "Still I'm Sad" on the first Rainbow album? Why was that an instrumental?
Touche. I will give this one a 3.5. I thought it was the second only to Fireball on this album for just just overall enjoyability.
Yeah.
But okay, you've been waiting for it. The next track up is oh, he's doing that. He's doing a really nice job of those.
All right. Nice.
Oh wow, they're gonna do the they're gonna try to emulate the UK release on this one. It's kind of unexpected.
Yeah.
It's a longer song. This might be almost the length of the album version.
Not bad.
It sounds again like Rod Evans doing Gillan.
You know what this kind of reminds me of is the first time I heard Ted Neely doing Jesus Christ Superstar after hearing Gillan do it. It's like
I've been struggling to put my finger on it, but that's exactly it.
It's like, yeah, it's the song, but it's not as powerful.
It sounds to me like he's singing it like a fifth down or something. Like it's like is it a full octave, or I don't know if it's the timbre of his voice, but it sounds like it's in key, but it's not the right notes.
No, I think it's a timbre of his voice. Love to see how he's going to come out of the solo if he does the scream.
Maybe I'll just have to bring that synth back.
Oof. Well, vocally, I don't think he's doing much in this song, so it's like I don't have high hopes for this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, they're not doing a bad job though with this section.
He did such a great job on Fireball. Not bad.
It was not that good. Yeah, he's just not singing powerfully enough for this.
And that also could just be that it's not recorded well enough, you know? If you don't compress the vocals properly, if he's not close enough to the mic, there's a lot of things that could make it sound weak or weaker than it actually was.
I mean, he could just suck.
I think he's a pretty good singer. I think
no, he was. at times. Not here.
I think the vocals on Fireball prove it, but it's almost like they didn't save the settings that they were using for that.
Yeah.
But overall, this is very faithful to the original.
Well, yeah, I don't think they were trying to like reinvent the atom with this.
No, they shortened up some of the other songs, but this one is like... And they did a lot of these similar things in the solos.
Is that a phrase, reinvent the atom?
Is what a phrase we invented?
Reinvent the atom? Or did I mean reinvent the wheel? I meant reinvent the wheel, but it's like, what about atoms? Like, I think I got my phrases mixed up.
Atoms weren't invented.
They were trying to crush the atom?
Split the atom?
Split the...
Maybe I think you're
sense.
conflating like splitting atoms with, and you ever say that about someone, that guy's not... I remember my cousin Jeff would always say, I think he still does, that guy's not splitting atoms on his day off. To mean he's a dummy. So I think you were conflating that with reinvent the wheel.
I think what I meant was they're not trying to do their own thing here. The whole point was they're supposed to be doing a cover album of these songs so people will buy it and hear what they're expecting, which is close to the original.
With a bunch of weird other shit thrown in there.
Yeah, I guess.
But I guess like why? Well, I guess we can get to that when we're done.
Yeah, just why?
We will answer why. Speed King, what do you rank that one?
I'll give it a 3. I thought it was. Overall, I thought it was kind of mediocre. And I mean, the quote unquote scream coming out of the solo was very amusing.
Did he go like yeah, like a mariachi sort of band?
Like it was just it was like he saved it toward the end, but it almost got a little too goofy. I think we'd have to go back and listen to it again, but it wasn't good. At first, I thought he was going to save himself and just let it play out without the screaming. He went, ow, ow, ow,
ow, ow. And it sounded like, did he step on a Lego sort of thing too at first? It just sounded like painful.
Oh, shit.
Did I rank it yet?
No,
I'll give it a 3 as well. I think musically they did a really good job. They mimicked some of the solos, I felt like, really well. But once again, I think just vocally it was a little off. Okay, that brings us to the last track on this, which is another original. This one is called Corina. Sounds like a song from like the 50s. Oh, it's got vocals. He sounded very Rod on this one. That's a lazy blues song.
Yeah. Probably the best original that they've done so far.
I would say hands down, yeah. This one was also written by Muller, who invented the 12-bar blues. It really, I will say, both lyrically and the performance and the production sound like a song from the late 50s, early 60s.
Probably what they were going for.
Whoa.
Oh man.
When in doubt, 12-bar blues will fill up a lot of space on an album.
Yep. Oh, they got a terrible electric piano sound there. Yeah, Pete does not approve.
Yeah, it sounds like... I mean, it sounds like they were going for it intentionally, because I don't know how you'd get this... But it sounds almost like they wrapped a pillow around the microphone before they mic'd the piano.
I mean, unless it was an actual real piano and that was mic'd really badly.
I'm sure it was a real piano, but yeah, like, it's just very muffled and distant sounding. Which could be a cool effect if that's what you're going for. I just don't think it works on this particular song.
Is this going to be over soon?
It's very close to over.
All right.
John's
like,
I got stuff to do.
I've had enough. Like, I get it. Karina. Karina, say her name a few hundred more times.
I wonder who this song is about. All right.
Shot in the dark, but I think it's about some broad named Karina.
Some broad. Karina. John, do I have to ask, what do you think about Karina?
I'll actually give it a 3. I thought that it was pretty good. It was too long, but
it was at least a minute too long.
It was a decent jam. So, and I mean, we've all been part of those lazy blues jams. So,
oh yeah, they're fun to do when you're playing them, but they're not. You just have to know as a musician that it's not as much fun to listen to as it is to do. You could play that for 25 minutes and have a blast. And if it was in a certain live setting, maybe it would work, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's not fun to listen back to when you didn't play on it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Even when you did play on it, you're like, oh, we recorded that? Yeah, I never want to listen to that. Okay, I'll give it a 2.5. Yeah, it is, it's 12-bar blues. It is what it is. Not breaking any new ground at all, but decent little bebop sort of sound to it. All right. Well, while John fumbles with the spreadsheet, oops. An ad.
What was that?
It was like an ad on the website I was looking at, just came through. Something I'm going to read after this. Okay. So while John fumbles with the spreadsheet, I will thank our next and final level of patrons. That is, of course, our core level, foundation level patrons. Thank you so much to all of them. At the £3.50 Deep Purple New York tier, we have Lord Longford. At the £3 Aromatic Feed tier, we have Simon Ford and Richard Brees. At the €3.50 tier, Weston Supermare Pilgrim. At the 293 pence tier, we have
Blackmore Tights.
At the $3.33 Halfway to Evil tier, Stephen Sharp. At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, we have Peter Gardeau.
All that she wants is another baby.
Ian DeRosier. Mark Roback. Stuart McCord. Ivan Fjeldbu. Runar Simonsen. Ruinous Inadequacies, Corey Morissette. Joe Dopefish Sigler. Adam Cork, Tim Wood, Steve Down to Earth Kohler, Michael, Matt R, and Lisa's Christ Superstar. At the 10 Cold Hard Danish Kroner tier, we have Karsten Lau.
Cold Hard Danish Kroner.
And at the $1 made-up name tier, we have the Palamatoon of Graves, Leaky Mausoleum, Stephen Somerville, the Cachano 1999 fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashen Lionel, Zwapper the Electric Alchemist, Andres Engstrom, ICDC, Durple Purple, David Haddam, Graham Bonnet's Disco Pants and Haircuts.
I said, Graham, you know, our audience expects you to be a bit more dirty.
Disco pants and haircuts, yeah.
I'm just going to put my guitar across his head.
Eddie Lyon.
Homosexual.
And Sick Tone.
Where is she? Where is she? She's just about to close up the library.
Thank you so much to everybody, and you know what time it is.
Well, John's busting out the spreadsheets, and he's fumbling with the tabs. Oops, he sorted it the wrong way. Now he can't tell what is bad.
All right, John, I'm almost afraid to ask, where does Funky Junction fall in our overall album rankings?
Fifth from the bottom.
Oh my goodness.
5.33, tied with Trapeze.
The original Trapeze album. Yep.
The original Trapeze, yep. And and then of course, dangerously close to Warhorse.
Warhorse self-titled, yeah.
Yeah, but we both gave it 2.67, so we wound up giving it the same rating. But
wow, that's funny. I felt like I was being a little more harsh.
Yeah, but I think you were. It just, I think it kind of evened out, because where I was more harsh, you weren't, and vice versa. So I think that if I didn't like what, I can't remember.
Fireball?
Fireball. I was gonna say Burn, because that was the last song that we heard. Yeah, if I didn't like Fireball as much overall, then it probably would have even been lower. But yeah, I mean, I think that it is what it is. I mean, yeah, very, very kind of interesting, historically interesting footnote. I mean, it was basically, Thin Lizzy working for rent money. So
yeah,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, it is a very interesting piece of Deep Purple history, even if they had nothing to do with it. But it is something that's out there. Like I said, I'll put a link in the show notes to the few articles they had on the Highway Star about this from years ago. Very, very, very funny. Kind of something that where is it here? I think I have it open. This is written by Gary Smith. And he says, I first saw this album in 1973 in the Woolworths store at the end of Princes Street in Edinburgh. It was 10 p.m. on a Sunday night. The store was very firmly shut. The record was on a stand behind the glass door. I was on a school trip and I was going to go back home first thing the next morning. So I had no chance to get it. So he talks the story about how he got it and how bad he thought it was. And then he posts this thing on the Highway Star. Benny White reaches out after reading it and, a very good natured way. And then he reviews both sides of the album and kind of what he thinks. So it's interesting. It's a fun read. So I did, while we were doing this, and I pulled up an ad, unfortunately, there's this stuff about D.L. Miller, otherwise known as Leo Muller, about how he did this and he made these compilation things. He says he also did something called the 101 Strings. He said, it says Miller sought to recreate the success of mood music records, then in vogue thanks to conductors. Let's play another ad. Damn this site. Conductors like Mantovani and George Mellacrino sold dirt cheap at department stores and other retail outlets. The records flew off the shelves, and Somerset would go on to release over 200 additional easy listening collections under the, oh my God, it keeps putting ads on. The site sucks. Damn it, stop.
This is not like, you'd be getting like porn sites popping up.
Yeah, like that weird GeoCities site I found. It says, okay, in time, Miller expanded the label's horizons with knockoff rock and roll and country albums, even foregoing, oh my God, the freaking ads. F this site. Maybe I'll remove the link from it. Screw these guys.
Give it up.
I'm closing it and cutting and pasting it into my browser so I don't have to deal with this. Okay, so he expands to rock albums and country albums, even foregoing his own rules to hire crack session musicians like Alvino Ray and Pete Candoli. He sold Somerset and its holdings to record distributor Al Sherman in 1963, but he remained with the company as a producer for about a year prior to returning to Germany and founding Miller International Schallplatten, applying to the German music market the same business practices that he honored in the U.S. Miller's Europa records. So it says that these products can still be found to this day, despite him. He passed away, I guess, in 1985. So yeah, I guess he just had a passion for releasing cheap crap.
That's an odd passion. What's your passion? Releasing cheap knockoff crap.
Well, hey, keeping your expenses low. Selling them cheap, making a ton of money. I guess he sold a lot of them.
Yeah, well, hey, if it works, it works.
Yep. 101 Strings. Look it up.
I feel like I have a vinyl. I have something on vinyl
called really familiar to me.
101 Strings. I don't know why. I mean, God only knows why. I mean, I was just buying everything when I was younger, but that looked weird or interesting, so.
Yeah, it's very possible. Holy shit. It says in the 24 years of his existence, 101 Strings sold more than 50 million records worldwide.
Jesus. Well, maybe that's how I wound up with it. I mean, if one of it was bound to wind up in a used record bin.
Yeah, right.
Well, wait a minute. Was it 100 and he produced it, or?
Yeah, he was, I guess, like he owned the name or whatever. And
what was his name again? Leo what?
Well, here he was being called Miller, David L. Miller, but he was also called Leo Muller. He died in 1985.
Now let me see. But on this one, I wonder if it's the same one that I have. 101 Strings. I pulled it up, the picture, but it doesn't look. I'm gonna have to find. I can't go through right now.
Well, there was probably 100 different albums,
right,
or whatever. So
yeah, but I want to look and see if his name is on it, if it's like the same one. Just curiosity. But I don't recognize. Like sometimes I pull up like a picture of something, like an old album cover, like immediately, like it'd just be like, oh yeah, I got that. Actually, I cataloged everything on Discogs. I wonder if I'm still signed in.
Let's see if it's there. Yeah, but that is Funky Junction. We got to it eventually.
We did.
Any closing thoughts before we wrap up this week's episode?
No, not at the moment.
Keep on trucking and watch your Palamatoons.
Yeah. Yeah. My final thoughts. Yeah. Don't Just don't.
Don't
waste your time on it. Listen to Fireball. Listen to
that's-
Fireball for a good song and a good chuckle right around the bass solo part, and then no, don't listen to anything. Don't listen to the
I think
rest
we might
of
have to have that bass solo as a soundbite.
Oh,
I'll
absolutely.
isolate it.
It was just not good.
No, it wasn't Phil's finest moment, but luckily for him, he had many, many fine moments after that.
Absolutely.
Lucky for all of us. All right. Well, thank you so much, my friend. It was great talking to you, and we will see you again next week with a fresh, hot new topic. Later.
If you like the Deep Purple podcast and would like to support the show, please consider joining our Patreon or donating on PayPal. Patrons get full access to the podcast, Discord server, ratings, spreadsheets, and live stream invites. You can also leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. You can also check out the website at deeppurplepodcast.com for show notes and more. Contact us via email at John or Nate at deeppurplepodcast.com. Thanks for listening. If you like the Deep Purple podcast and would like to support the show, please consider joining our Patreon or donating on PayPal. Patrons get full access to the podcast, Discord server, ratings, spreadsheets, and live stream invites. You can also leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. You can also check out the website at deeppurplepodcast.com for show notes and more. Contact us via email at John or Nate at deeppurplepodcast.com. Thanks for listening.